Especially grateful I can be here on a day that Dr. Windley was able to be our keynote speaker. I took a distributed systems class from Dr. Windley, and a lot of the direction that we're trying to push BYU Print and Mail's technology comes from some of the things that were learned in that class. Grateful to get to be here with that. So there's a scene in the 1984 classic movie Ghostbusters where the team's secretary, Janine, is trying to strike up a conversation with the super nerd Ghostbuster Egon. At one point she says, I bet you like to read a lot. And Egon very succinctly replies, print is dead. And in the over 30 years since that Ghostbusters pronouncement of the demise of the printed page, a lot of similar prophecies have been offered. As of yet, it hasn't come true. In my view, part of the digital transformation we're discussing today is trying to find the right means of communication, the right channels for the different types of information that people need to have access to, whether it's students and employees of the university or society in general. As it turns out, even after all the great advances in digital technology, there are still and always will be some materials for which the printed page is the best medium for communicating. As long as there are materials that need to be printed, BYU Print and Mail is going to be using advances in technology to improve quality and also make job submission easier. And we've already come a long way. When the Book of Mormon was first submitted to the Grandin Press for publishing, leaders of the church gave a handwritten manuscript that had to be painstakingly transcribed into forms made of metal type. This was a tedious, error-prone, months-long process that made it very difficult to get a document ready for printing. If we fast forward 16 or 17 decades, we'd see that the proliferation of personal computers has made preparing your document for printing a task that almost anybody can do. We've started doing the typesetting on our own machines, but now the question has become, once the document's ready, how do we get it to the printer? Because of that came the invention of one of the most widely used, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. It's actually a miracle I can talk today. Yesterday I sounded like I had a word of wisdom problem, so I'm glad that I can speak at all. Anyway, the new complication is once the file is ready, how do we get it to the printer? With that question comes the invention of one of the most widely used networks ever known to man. And although this network is now decades old, it's still used every day. And that network is, of course, SneakerNet. Now, for years, the best way to get something from your computer to a computer that you didn't own or control was to copy it to some physical media and walk it down to wherever that other system resides. We're happy to take print jobs submitted through SneakerNet and our print centers on campus because for some people, it's the way they're most comfortable doing it. But for those of us who are embracing the digital transformation, Print and Mail's devised some faster, easier, and more automated ways to receive and print the materials that the campus needs to print. The first of these methods is to use user-driven web-to-print systems, where a print user visits a website to set up a print job instead of walking to the print center. Some of the systems we've set up for this type of order are pretty specialized. They are specific for ordering BYU stationery or greeting cards. In other cases, though, we use a more generic system called Cougar Prints, where users are allowed to upload print files, choose paper, printing, finishing options, and send it through to one of our print centers without leaving their desk. And it can handle a wide range of print needs. Another method we're implementing uses web services, where computers talk to computers without pesky humans meddling in the middle. The use of web services allows us to receive print requests from other systems and automatically begin processing the job. As long as the other system is authorized to talk to ours and knows the right parameters, we can receive print requests anytime, day or night. These are exciting new ways for us to work with campus departments and other church entities, where we'll use one method or the other based on the communication needs that we have between these departments. And in some cases, we'll use both at the same time. I'll illustrate this using a system we launched last year called GradWorks Online. We worked closely with the Graduate Studies Department to put together a web-to-print system where graduate students could submit their theses or dissertations for printing and hard binding. The way it would work is that a student would visit gradworksonline.com, and upload his document and customize his cover. And then GradWorks pushes the print request into our core system where it gets routed through our production process until it eventually ships back to the customer. After GradWorks is up and running, we learned that the library also wants printed copies of theses and dissertations, but they have their own system for receiving electronic versions of students' documents. Instead of requiring the library to manually submit print requests for every thesis or dissertation they receive, we instead created a web service that can receive these print requests and then push them into our system where they'll get processed just like anything else that would come through the website. The books go through the same production process and will be delivered back to the library through campus mail without anyone manually initiating a job. We've worked with many departments on campus to set up custom web solutions for printing and mailing. This month, we started working with the Center for Teaching and Learning to design a similar process to allow our print systems to integrate with the Learning Suite. The end goal is to allow students using the Learning Suite to print documents posted by faculty directly to any of our print centers on campus. Like we heard from the student panel this morning, a lot of what we want to see there is digital, but for some people, the learning style that they prefer is to actually take notes on a printed sheet of paper or to read with the paper in their hand, and we want to make sure that they have that possibility. Not to be overshadowed by the print side of our print mail operation, we're also working on web submission systems for mail services as well. For years, we've had a system that allows campus employees to set up a shipping request online. And starting next month, we're rolling out an updated version of the system that will actually push that shipping information directly into our shipping systems once it's been filled out online. So there'll be no need for a printed form anymore that way. And also, it will reduce data entry errors and increase processing speed. We also have created web services that will allow departments on campus to query our FedEx discounted shipping rates so that you'll be able to get those on demand for products that you sell and ship from your own websites. We really enjoy working with the campus departments to create new ways of integrating print and mail into their systems. If your department has a need of automated, on-demand printing or shipping, let us know. Whether we're building a new system from scratch or we're combining our tools with yours, we want to connect the campus to the print and mail resources that will help employees and students access information that's best presented on the printed page. Thank you.